So now, next in the 10th chapter, we will see that how King Rahugana, understanding that the foul words he used to describe the carrier of the palanquin was not suitable for a great sage, got down from the palanquin and praised Bharata. So in this chapter, we see the meeting between King Rahugana and Bharata, Brahmana Bharata. So, and from here, the teachings will continue for the next 3-4 chapters. This is for the prelude. This chapter is like the prelude for the teachings, which are going to come up in the next 3-4 chapters. So, a little bigger chapter 25 verses are there. We will see that Jadabharata escapes from that human sacrifice and he was going away. The next day morning, as he was walking on the way, so a king had traveling in a palanquin and they wanted one person to carry the palanquin. He saw them. They saw him to be powerful, strong, and stout. They engaged him in palanquin carrying. Then something interesting happens. That is mentioned in the entire chapter. So now, till now, Bharata Maharaj was in touch with many people. Now he is going to be in touch with our Rahugana. Now for the first time, he opens his mouth. So why? Bharata gave mercy to his brothers and neighbors who maintained him with rice and oil cakes, even though they were materialists filled with Rajoguna, by letting them see his farm for a considerable period of time. Almost about 20 years he stayed at home. His family members, neighbors, and the villagers, they all saw him for 20 long years. But they were not on the pure goodness platform. So they could not understand his nature. But still, that is his causeless mercy upon them that they could see a pure Vaishnava for 20 long years. Though they are materialists, that is his causeless mercy upon them. He also gave mercy to the leader of the thieves, even though he was in deep tamoguna. The thieves were in deep darkness. The leader also in deep darkness, the priest also. But still, though they are attached to sinful activities and had beaten Bharata because he arranged for thieves' liberation in the next life, because he saw himself and the Kali directly. Because the entire thieves were directly killed by Kali, their papa parihar ho gaya. By being killed by Kali, their papa parihar ho gaya. In the next life, they will take birth in a devotee's family and they will attain perfection. They had two things. They had association of pure devotee. They served him because for the first time after many years, they bathed him, they decorated him, and then they dressed him, they ornamented him, they garlanded him, they put tilak also, they fed him nicely. For the first time, they did Vaishnava Seva. They attained Ajnat Sukriti. And being killed by Durga Devi, unka paap ka nash ho gaya. Now they are almost neutral. They don't have any bank balance. And in the next life, they would actually take birth in the devotee's family. They will practice bhakti and they'll attain perfection. And even the neighbors who had the association of a great devotee for 20 long years, even though currently they are materialistic, but somehow or other, they also served him. By feeding him whatever they have, people would give charity, whatever leftover food they would give him, and something or the other, they also served him, by which they also developed Ajna Sukriti. In the next life, they may also have the good fortune of that Ajna Sukriti. But in this life, they did not get benefit. Neither the family members or villagers or the dacoits. They will get benefit in the next life. But Rahuguna will be going to have benefit in this very life. The thieves were in the mode of ignorance. The family members and villagers were in the mode of passion. But Rahuguna was in the mode of goodness. Because in the mode of goodness, he could receive mercy immediately.
His father would also have received some blessings.
But anyway, he got to Pitraloka because of his personal this thing. And in the next life, after coming back, he will continue his bhakti. So in one sense, his father was also in Rajoguna only. Rajo plus Sattva, both combined together. But He gave special mercy to King Rahugana, who was in Satvaguna, being a Jnani. Even though the king made him carry the palanquin through a manifestation of Rajoguna, suitable to the position of a king. By nature, king was Satvaguna. He was a Jnani and king was Satvaguna. But being a king, he would engage people in general in normal activities like carrying palanquin, etc. So, though he engaged Brahmana Bharata in the carrying the palanquin, but when he understood that he is not an ordinary person, then he begged forgiveness and then took jnana from him, because of which he attained perfection in the same life. Because he could realize by hearing a couple of words from Brahmana Bharata, he could realize this person is not an ordinary person. Others could not realize. He must have spoken before also, some words here and there, but they could not. They thought that is a madman. क्या बोल रहे हैं, क्या बात कर रहे हैं, क्या बोल रहे हो? So it is like that. Because the king did not show rajas or tamas and show sattva, Bharata revealed bhakti and jnana to the king. He did not reveal this to his brothers or to the thieves. Predominantly, the king was in Satvaguna, and when he understood this is not ordinary person, immediately came down, fell flat, and begged forgiveness, and asked for the revelation of jnana. Then he revealed the jnana. This is the specialty of this chapter.
So one who is in the mode of goodness.
Hmm.
The 11th canto maybe Lord Krishna.
One second. So Rajas looks for selfish interest. Tamas looks for one's own physical happiness at the cost of others' misery. But in the mode of goodness, one thinks about others' welfare also. The king by nature is supposed to be in the mode of goodness so that only he can think of others' welfare. Na? Otherwise, he is only interested in his own welfare. That is too much. Passionate and ignorance. King is supposed to be Rajarshi. He is in the mode of goodness. Only when a person in the mode of goodness thinks of others' well-being. In the mode of passion, in the mode of goodness, one cannot think of others' well-being selflessly.
See, this pastime had happened in Satyuga. Right?
Forget it, wherever it happened. King is king.
Yeah, I'm just.
I don't know. I also don't know. Nowhere it is mentioned when it happened. The story begins in order to reveal this. It should be explained that though as Paramahamsa, one should see everything equally. Mercy manifests from one's being a great devotee. Some say the story is told to explain how by the mercy of the Lord, Bharata's own bhakti, jnana and vairagya were multiplied 100 times. So it's like that. Prabhuji.
So I will be available.
How can we understand the last statement? That by this story, Bharata's own bhakti, jnana and vairagya were multiplied 100 times.
Because now in the upcoming chapters, we will hear what he is going to speak, from what level he is going to speak. From his words, we can understand he is not on a human platform. He is already in a transcendental Brahmabhuta platform. It's like that, elevated platform. And not only that, who can tolerate all these things? In the family, so much insult, so much disgrace, and they were feeding him all the oil clicks, but they are making him work day and night. Still, it is never retaliated. He was taken to be killed for a human sacrifice. He did not relate. What kind of a person can be like that? And he was told by a king, a small king of small province, to carry his palanquin. And who was Bharata? He was the monarch. He was the ruler of the entire Bhumandala. So, who can do that? What kind of humility requires for doing that? That shows his level of bhakti. So it's like that.
So is it like a comparative thing from his past to present? Or
Yes.
here to actually appreciate his pastimes in general.
No. He comparative also from Bharata the king here. Then now Bharata the Brahmana. His consciousness has improved a lot. So like that you should see.
So we should understand it as a point of lesson, not as the story how it actually unfolds. Because already we have understood that he is a pure devotee and Lord is actually uh, playing the pastime.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
from that perspective, we should not see.
No, in
Rather, we should see it
in
as
either case also. You can't. You mean to say that pure devotee cannot become more purer?
so already he was in Bhava Bhakti. So for a person in Bhava Bhakti to actually display such qualities is natural.
Even that also can improve. No? Why you want to put a full stop to the manifestation of the bhava qualities? They can increase unlimitedly. They are not like the
Hmm.
material. We don't apply our material attributes to it.
So
The
in
spiritual
which
world,
by
the
through which
bhava can
activities
increase unlimitedly. The prema can increase unlimitedly. There is no end to them.
hmm,
Hmm.
so through which activities we are able to actually see them differently
Every
from
activity
his past.
is every activity we can see him
Hmm.
because of the deed he went through repentance and also he performed wonderful tapasya and in the next life since childhood he is showing indifference to all these activities that itself shows his high level of absorption and he was mistreated like anything. Who can tolerate so much mistreat? Even though we may speak about so much humility, if we are mistreated like that, can we tolerate?
No.
But he is being tolerating all these things mean that shows his great level of absorption. In bhakti, day by day, one's consciousness improves. There is no full stop. You cannot say, okay, इतना ही, इसके आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता. ऐसा नहीं होता है. It is Ananda Ambudhi Vardhanam. That Ananda, it is like the ocean, it is ever increasing ocean. Every day, hundreds of rivers are adding so much water to the ocean. It is keep increasing always. So it is like that.
Okay.
Hmm. So now you are asking where this pastime happened. And when this happened, we don't know, but where this happened, we can get some idea of this. While the king of Sindhu and Savira, Rahugana, was traveling on the bank of the Ikshumati river. You find out where is the Sindhu Savira province and Ikshumati river. That is where this pastime happened. And the leader of his palanquin bearers was searching for an extra bearer. By chance, they came upon Bharata, the best of the Brahmanas, who had arrived there. He was well nourished, young, and strong like a bull or donkey. Go Karavad. Thinking that he was suitable to carry the load, they forcibly engaged that great devotee, along with the other carriers who are also engaged by force. The great devotee, though not proper for such a job, carried the palanquin of the king. At one point of time, the Sindhu Savira king was traveling across and they had only three palanquin carriers. The leader himself carrying the fourth person. He was looking for other person so that the fourth person will carry and he will manage the entire show. While going, they saw this Brahmana Bharata who just escaped from the human slaughter. He escaped from there, he did not go home again. He just went on his own way like that. So then what happened? The manager saw here is a prospective candidate for carrying the palanquin so that I can be free. I'll manage instead of carrying. So he went to him and he was speaking to him, come, carry the palanquin. There is no response. Bharata was in deep meditation. There is no response. Then forcefully brought him and put him under the palanquin, carry. So like that. He was forced to do. He said that other three are also forced to do. Because king है ना अभी करना पड़ता है. Rahugana was the king of the state of Sindhu and Savira. The leader of the carriers was searching for another carrier. Bharata had well-nourished limbs and was strong. Externally, the body of the Bharata was youthful and strong and stout. Thinking that he was capable, the leader of the carriers forcefully engaged him. अभी अच्छा मिल गया, अच्छा आदमी मिल गया, उनको रख देते. So like that, they forced him to carry the palanquin. But they do not know that he will be the cause of trouble. When the movement of the bearers became disarrayed, because Bharata moved only after looking 3 feet ahead, the king realized that the palanquin was moving irregularly. He spoke to the men carrying the palanquin. Oh, carriers, walk correctly. Why is the palanquin moving unevenly? So, what would happen? Other palanquins were haste to complete the journey as fast as possible so that they can free from the weight of carrying the palanquin. But Bharata would look in the front. There are so many ants walking on the crawling on the road. He did not want to step on the hands. While others were going fast, by seeing the ants, he would stop. Then there is sudden jerk in the palanquin. Because one person stops in the palanquin, cannot go ahead. There is sudden jerk. The king would, like sudden brake happens in the vehicle, the passengers would go in the front and hit the front seat. So like that, something would happen to the king.
तब seats will be.
So the king would feel so uncomfortable. Again, they would start. Again, after 2-3 steps, he would stop again. Because there are so many ants on the way. This shows his compassionate, his vigilance. He was so observant on the path. Bharata moved only after glancing 3 feet ahead to avoid violence to ants. The movement of the men was not synchronized. 3 of them are in hasty. They want to go fast as possible so that they reach destination. They can be freed from the trouble of carrying the weight. But Bharata is not worried about the weight. He was worried about the ants. He was going slowly. Whenever he would stop, it would be causing trouble to the king. King becomes angry. ए क्या हो रहा है? अच्छे से carry करो. इतना भी पता नहीं था क्या? So like that they would shout. Hearing the censuring words of their master, the carriers became afraid of punishment and informed him as follows. The other 3 carriers, they were worried. Hey, no, king is going to punish us without our mistake. And they would say that, my dear Raja, he is the cause, he is the problem. He is not carrying properly, he is not carrying properly. Something like that. The carriers heard abusive words of the king. The fourth method among the Sama, Dana, Beda, Danda is punishment. They thought that the king is going to punish us. So then they said that, oh king, we have not been inattentive and following your orders. You have been carrying properly. But the man who has now been engaged does not walk quickly. They were quick, but he was not quick. We are not able to carry the palanquin with him. We are carrying fast, but he is not walking fast. Please forgive us. There is no mistake of ours. He is not in sync with our speed. That's why we are not able to carry it properly. There is uncomfort for you. So the remaining 3, in one sense, they stated correct only. But one thing you see, we have not been inattentive. They were telling that we are not inattentive. We are very much attentive to go to the destination. From their point of view, they are attentive. But from Bharata's point of view, Bharata is attentive not to harm the ants. Bharata is not worried about the king. He is worried about the ant. Other people are not worried about the ants. They are worried about the comfort of the king and time of the king. Jaldi pahunchna hai. We are not inattentive, but follow your orders. That 4th person is not attentive, is not following your order. Instead, is causing trouble to you, my dear Raja. Please punish him, not us. Something like that. Hearing the words of his poor servants and understanding that the fault of one person will lead to a fault in all persons in a group due to intimate association, the king became a little angry. Sorry. Due to intimate association, the king became a little angry. Because anyway, they are his servants only. So king became angry. Because of his nature and fell under its control. Even though he had received knowledge from sages. Is a religious king. He would hear continuously from the sages that be compassionate, be humble, like this, so many things. But he is also a king. So, and he is also the master of the servants for many, many years. Out of intimacy, he became a little bit angry with them without understanding the greatness of the fourth person. So, his mind covered by passion, he spoke to Bharata, whose spiritual power was covered like a fire covered by the ashes. Jata Vedasam Iva. So, the king thought that the fourth person is also an ordinary innocent person like the other three. And in the past, he kind of chastised all the four. But the three said that no, ours is not fault, the fourth person is the fault. Now the king is going to utter the fourth person alone. Thinking that he is a not in a proper state of mind or something like that. Hearing the words of his servants and understanding that the fault of one person will lead to the fault of all the four in the group, became a little angry because of his nature and fell under the control of anger, even though he had received knowledge from the sages. He had good knowledge, but now he is not dealing with sages. When he is dealing with the sages, he would be quite humble mood. Now he is dealing with the servants. So he became, taking that as a granted, he became a little angry. His mind covered by passion. He thought that I am the king. These are my servants. I should correct them. He spoke to Bharata, whose spiritual power was covered like the fire covered by ashes. Now, here he will speak to Bharata in a sarcastic way. And for which Bharata answers in a sarcastic way. Then, hearing those words, king understands that this person is not an ordinary person. The way he is speaking indicates his power of maturity. When the king comes out of the palanquin, fall flat at the feet of the Brahmana Bharata, and then the next chapter begins. Wonderful knowledge takes place in the next chapter. Oh brother, sarcastically is calling him, oh brother, brother. It is certainly difficult carrying the palanquin, and in that me, it is definitely difficult. You are very tired. Carry करते हुए अब tired हो गया. You are not able to walk carrying me. You have traveled a long path. Just now they started. And you traveled a long path. बहुत दूर carry करके थक गया. You are not able to do. For a long time, you are carrying this load alone. See that? You are carrying this for a long time and you are carrying alone. Like sarcastically, he's telling, you are not healthy and you do not have strong limbs. He had strong and stout. He was healthy only. But the king sarcastically, it seems that you are not healthy and you are very weak. Your body is very, very, very weak. You are afflicted by old age. He was youth. But the king saying that you are afflicted by old age. You cannot carry anymore. Oh friend, the other workers do not cooperate with you. Others are telling that he is not cooperating with us. And king is saying that because you are old, you are weak, you are unhealthy, you have traveled a long path, and you are alone carrying the weight, and others supposed to help you, but they are not helping you properly. The other workers do not cooperate with you. In this way, though abused badly, if somebody speaks to us like criticizing, we retaliate it immediately in a bad way only. But here, since he spoke sarcastically, Rahugana also will speak sarcastically. Because Rahugana understood. Because just see the terminology. He could have shouted at him, you rascal, what are you doing like this? He had that authority, he could have done. But he did not do like that. He spoke in a respectable manner. He said, oh brother, without speaking any bad words, he scolded him. That is gentlemanly scolding. matlab, scold in the sense, trying to correct him in a gentlemanly way. So then Bharata understood that, okay, this person is a learned person. Though he want to punish, but he is punishing in a gentleman way. But using some sarcastic words, but gentlemanly. He is not speaking any wrong word, which actually bad word or a criticism like that. Indirectly is glorifying. In that glory there is sarcasm. Like Bharata understood. Okay, this person is not ordinary person, is a knowledgeable person. Otherwise, people in general, they immediately shout like anything. You can't understand, you fool rascal. इतना भी समझ में नहीं आया था आपको? कार्य करो अच्छे से. 3 लोग क्या कैसे कर रहे हैं, आप कैसे कर रहे हैं? People in general, they respond like that. But since he is a knowledgeable person, Rahugana impressed by that language. Then he begins to speak. Otherwise, he would not have speak. If it was somebody else, his brothers did not speak to him only. हाँ जाओ जाओ जाओ, तो field में जाओ देखो, बस उतना ही है. He would never respond to them. He would never speak to them. He would go and do the needful and whatever he could do and come back, whatever they would give, and he would eat and sleep on the bare floor. So, this language, the words used here, they are all gentlemanly words. There is no criticism. There is no pain inflicting words used. Everyone graceful, glorifying words only. But they are meant to punish. They are not meant to glorify. They are indirectly spoken in a way. In this way, though abused badly, Bharata continued to carry the palanquin silently as before. He heard, he did not respond. Okay, he for some time again moved along with them. When he saw the ants, again reduced his speed. Since he was situated in Brahmabhuta platform, he was not at all disturbed by those words. He heard and he moved and was not covered by the false conception of I and mine. For us, so much false conception I and mine. What do you think am I? Hey, MTech graduate, this, that. No, you think you know better than me? You are suggesting me this, that. Papre, ego comes forward. In his final body, and was not covered by the false conception of I and mine in his final body. This is the last body. Very soon is going back to Godhead. Not made of the gross elements, senses, karma, and antakarna. Though his body physically manifesting outside, but very soon in no time he is going to have spiritual body. That means currently also is almost on the spiritual body verge. He is in the spiritual body only. He did not take the words of the king very seriously because he has no ahankara mamakara, so he will not take it seriously. Not produced by Maya, a body which was real belonging to Vaikunta. He internally already manifested his spiritual body. He is on the transcendental platform. Jivan Mukta Sauchate. So he was not at all disturbed by the sarcastic words of the king. Instead, he was impressed by those words. The king addressed him as brother with sarcasm. Sangatina means associates. By taking the opposite meaning of the words, the king criticized Bharata. Actually, all the words indicate actually opposite. So the words were saying that it is clearly difficult. क्या ऑर्डिनरी पैलंक्विन कैरी करना क्या डिफिकल्ट है इसमें? 4 आदमी में 1 आदमी कितना हो जाता है? And you just joined the party. You are not tired only, and you did not travel long path, and you did not carry for a long time, and you are not alone carrying the entire palanquin. 3 people अलग है, वो भी carry कर रहे हैं, आप तो थोड़ा सा ही है, and you are not even old, and they are very much cooperative. 3 of them are carrying nicely. You are not cooperating with them, so like that indirectly. You are not tired because you have just started carrying the palanquin. You are well nourished with strong limbs and you are young. You are showing deceit to me, the king, by saying, I cannot carry the palanquin in a regular way with these other carriers. even though they are moving in unison. Indirectly, without being speaking, he is showing that I will not be able to carry along with them. But the king does not understand that he is stopping because of hands. The king thought that he is not interested to carry. Though he was abused, he remained silent and continued to carry the palanquin. The reason is given. He was not covered with a false conception of I and mine. In his final body, made up of the 5 gross elements, the senses, pious and sinful results, and the antakarana, which was insubstantial since he had no relationship with it, though it was real. He had attained Brahma platform. Though he is living in the physical body, but he is nothing to do with the physical body. He is not identified with the physical body. He is constantly absorbed in Supreme Lord. So he abuses all to the body only, because it is the body which is tired. It is the body which is youthful or old. It is the bad body which is carrying, not the soul. His words are applicable to the body only. So Bharata did not respond. Actually, Bharata, like Sukadeva Goswami, had an indestructible eternal spiritual body. Because of the arousal of prema, at this time, he actually did not have possessiveness for anything except the Supreme Lord. However, because of not attaining direct service to the Lord in that body at that moment, he manifested humility produced from increasing longing, and therefore did not want to offer his sense of I to the Lord. The understanding is that though he could able to do smaranam, but he is not able to serve the Lord in person, because he has not gone to spiritual world yet. He is thinking that I am not yet purified. Still, I am not contaminated. Let me purify myself. Let me not retaliate for what King has said. By retaliating what King has said, I will unnecessarily show my false pride. I will increase my bodily conception of life. Let me not respond. Let me continue and purify my existence. Like that, the Bharata Brahmana thought. Because of this, Bharata made a show of having a material body, even though he was full of knowledge. Therefore, Sukadeva also describes him as if he had a material body, if one takes the superficial meaning of the words. The last phase appears to mean in his final body made up of the gross elements, senses, karma and antakarana produced by Maya, a body which was insubstantial, though having a particular appearance. However, it should be explained that his real opinion is that Bharata had a spiritual body. Thus the phrase avidyaya arachita dravya guna karmashaya swa chakrama kalevare actually means in his eternal body that remained after all pervasive bodies had been destroyed, which was not made up of material elements, senses, karma and antakarna. Bharata could be able to do constant smaranam, being situated in his eternal body only. It is already manifested internally, but externally is only displaying the mortal physical body, as if he is still a human being, part of the human society. It is only a display. But internally already attained his spiritual body. That's why he is able to do constant smaranam. That is the greatness of Bharata, like the Sukadeva Goswami. He had exalted body. The body was absolute since it was devoid of prarabdha karma. That body possessed Vaikuntha Loka. His body is as good as the Sharira of the Vaikuntha Vasis. It has no material traits. But as if he is a material person, is displaying the material outward exposure of the body, with which the king is dealing. He simply acted like a material person out of humility arising from prema. He had no sense of identification with me and mine. He was thinking that since I am not yet become completely pure, otherwise I could have gone to spiritual world and could be able to serve the Lord in person. I am still a person in progress only. Let me not respond or retaliate. Let me go through this and get purified of my pending karmas. Like that, Bharata thought. And he remained silent and he carried forward the palanquin. But still, same thing happens. Even though he carried further, same thing will again happen. Thereafter, the king saw that his palanquin was still being shaken by the carriers. He became very angry and said, "This time, the king will use direct words." Previously used indirect words, but now again the same thing is happening. The king used direct words. "You fool! What are you doing? Are you dead? Despite the life within your body? Jivan Mruta? You are disregarding me, the king of Sindhu Savira province, and are not carrying out of my order, not caring out of my order, not carrying out of my order. I have a remedy for you, for your inattention. Just as Yamaraja punishes the people in general, so that you will come to your senses. I'll beat you left and right, by which you will come to your senses. Can't you understand what I'm saying? Can't you understand that I am the king? You are supposed to do duty properly. You are still not able to follow. What is this? King became really angry this second time. Not second time, third time, na?
Second.
First, he spoke to all 4 palanquin carriers. The 3 responded, "We are not at fault, he is causing problem." The king spoke to the Bharata. Bharata continued and again caused same thing. And third time, he is speaking to Bharata. The first time to all 4, second time to Bharata, and third time he is speaking. The words, actual words came out. Though previously he was trying to cover up his intentions, but now they came up. And now, in this manner, the king spoke incoherently, thinking himself a king and thinking himself learned Pandita Manina, Naradeva Manina, and Pandita Manina, while abusing the perfect devotee. Ashesha Bhagavat Priya Niketam, out of pride combined with passion and ignorance. The powerful Brahmana Bharata, with a slight smile and with no pride, then spoke to the king, who did not know much about the conduct of a great yogi, who was the friend of all beings and who was situated in a Brahmana. Bharata is a great devotee, great yogi, who was situated in the body of a Brahmana, and the king could not understand his greatness. Now, king, because the Bharata was impressed by his language previously, though this time he spoke directly. So now the king, the Bharata Maharaj, is going to respond. Abaddham means incoherent. Anuviddena means mixed with. The king had criticized the perfect devotee, Bhagavat Priya Niketam. Niketam means the ideal example of pure devotees. Bharata was the very form of being the friend of all beings. The symptom of pure devotee is he sees everyone equally. For him, there is no difference between the ant and the king. He does not want to step on the hand for the comfort of the king. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Kavi Asisucha Sapakecha, Pandita. From the external point of view, king is supposed to be respected more. For the sake of king, you can trouble ants, no problem. But from his point of view, the king is a living entity, ant is a living entity. I cannot cause trouble to for the sake of one living entity's comfort, I cannot cause trouble to another living entity. It's like that. This means that he was merciful even to those who offend him. The king thought that he was learned. He had little knowledge, but thought he knew everything. The king did not know much about the conduct of a great yogis, such as acting dull. Bharata smiled, thinking,